Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, wow. Nice, very nice. Hi. Hello. Are you guys, you having a good time? You saw some good comedy so far. You had a DJ who invigorated you. And it's nice to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad that none of our moms got abortions so we could all be here. Because I really have mixed feelings about abortion because it kind of bums me out to think about it happening. But then I think about if you need an abortion, it's an amazing idea. It's like the greatest thing in the world. I'm getting older now. I'm older now than when I started to say this. A lot of things change when you get older. Like, you start reallocating noises that you make. Like, the noise I used to make when I come, that's now the noise I make when I pee. That's sort of... Take it all, bitch. I was on a plane, and there's these two babies, and they're both crying. I don't think they knew each other or anything, but they both were crying. Because babies cry on planes. And I was curious, is there a reason why they cry on planes? So I researched, and it turns out there is actually a specific reason why babies cry on planes. And it's because they're upset that gay people are getting married, which surprised me, and I'm a little disappointed. I think they should just let people live their lives. I don't know what's their problem, you know? Now when I'm on a plane and there's a baby going, wham, I'm like, shut the fuck up, you fucking homophobe baby. Leave people alone with your conservative baby politics. Things have really changed since when I was growing up. Nobody said they were gay. It was like a joke to say you were gay. Now people are seriously fucking gay, and they're getting married. And they own businesses and they have kids, and it's everywhere, and it's totally just, you know, a lot of things have changed that way, you know. I've changed too, and I guess I'm a pretty liberal guy, but I'm not a good liberal. I got a lot of deep set things that aren't really changing. Like, if I walk past a gay couple or a lesbian couple, I don't react. It's nothing to me. But then I kind of get mad that they didn't notice. Like, how cool I was. I kind of want them to circle back and thank me. Thank you for treating us like normal human beings. No, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know, you live a long enough life, you can't really be prejudiced about anything because you just meet enough people that break all the different prejudices you used to have. I've learned that when you say something about a whole group, you're usually saying something about yourself. You know, like, black people are aggressive. You're afraid of black people. Men never commit. No man has committed to you. No man has yet decided that you're still worth hanging out with. I was in New York where I live, and I saw these two rats on the subway, and they were fucking. And I never saw rats fuck before. I watched them fuck. You can watch rats fuck. You don't have to go like this. You can just totally... I just happened to be... I mean, I didn't miss a train or anything. I was just curious. It wasn't like turning me on. I just wanted to see what it's like when two rats fuck. Because what I got curious about was, at some point I thought, the boy rat's gonna come, right? I mean... That's how you get more rats. But when a rat comes, is it just a biological kind of, or does he go like, oh, fucking yeah? Is it like, what is rat ecstasy like? And then I thought, you know what? I don't think the girl gets to come. I have a feeling that when rats fuck, the girl rat does not have an orgasm. I don't think the boy rat holds out for the girl rat. I mean, that takes a good man to do that. I don't know that rats have that in their culture. It's all right, baby. I'm here. I don't think they do that. How would that? What would a rat think about to keep from coming? Like garbage bags with no food in them. It's full of styrofoam. It's so disappointing. I like animals. I had a dog when I was a kid, and my dog hated me. This is a horrible thing to be hated by your dog. And I could tell he hated me because he was a terrier. He was very expressive, so he had eyebrows, you know? I'd walk in the room and he'd go like, oh, fuck, I can't do it. And he just would leave the room. It hurt my feelings so much. We would go for walks, and I had to use a leash, and I didn't want to. I want to be like one of those cool guys that has a dog and no leash. You know those guys, they're always so cool. It's always some guy in a suede jacket with shaggy hair, and he's got a cool dog, and he gets in his pickup truck and he goes, you know those guys who can whistle with no anything, just ah! That's what I do. That's how I whistle. Ah! And the dog gets in his truck, and they both get laid somewhere because they're so cool that women want to fuck his dog. Well, that's what I wanted, but my dog, I needed a leash, and whenever we walked, the leash was like taut. There was no sort of like, yeah, we're cool, we're friends. It was like, how far can I get from this hideous fucking kid? We'd be walking and he would choke himself the whole time. And if I stumbled and dropped the leash, he was gone. Just like, I'm not your dog. He would run like a slave, this dog, and just disappear. I'm sorry if that's offensive, but it's an apt description. It just fits. He didn't run like a deer. Deer run like this. This dog ran like this. And then we'd get a call from the pound to come get him. And I'd go in the pound, the dog would be in the cage, and he'd see me and he'd go, oh, fuck, come on, man. I don't like you, dude. I'm a dog. If I could say 3 words, it would be, I don't like you. Dog hated me. And then he got a tumor on his snout and he died, so I'm just laughing now. We didn't even put him to sleep, just let the tumor eat his head. Uh-huh. That's right. That's right. You go ahead and feel that way about it. It's not going to bring him back. I had a dog die recently, and I had to tell my kids. Now I have kids, and they had a dog, and the dog died. So we had to tell them the dog is dead. And it's kind of good that way. It's a good thing about dogs is they help you to teach kids about death. It gives you an opportunity to have that talk with them. It's kind of like a dry run for grandma. You have the talk about the dog, and then later you say, you know all that stuff I said about the dog? Yeah, grandma now. Just word replace grandma for dog. It's a weird thing you got to tell your kids about death, you know? I mean, it's something that everybody has to come to terms with because death is the only thing you can't really be optimistic about. It's gonna happen. My grandfather told me about death. He said, everybody dies. That's what he just told me. He said, yeah, you can win a lot of battles, but you're gonna lose the war. Now go out back and dig yourself a hole. Make it a little bigger every year. It's not the best way to tell an 8-year-old. I was 8 years old when I found out that everybody dies, and I asked my mom, and she said, yeah, it's true. Because once a kid knows that, you can't pedal backwards. You can't go back from that.
I knew this kid across the street, and he didn't know that everybody dies, and I was excited to tell him. Because I was 8 and he was 7, and fuck him, I hated him. His name was Benji Dzik. I hope he's alive and he finds out. Because fuck that kid, I hated him. I hated him deep down. I was 8 years old and I already had like a dark hatred for this kid. To me, he was a piece of shit cocksucker asshole. That's how I felt about him. And I didn't even know those words. That's the way I felt. I just had that feeling without knowing how to name it. And the first time I heard somebody say piece of shit cocksucker asshole, I was like, that's what it is. That's exactly what he is. Thank you. Anyway, one day Benji came over. I didn't like this kid, but his mom worked and she had to drop him off and stuff. And so one day she came over, he came over, Benji, and he's being a dick. And so I said to him, you're gonna die someday. What a thing to get to be the one to tell. You're gonna die someday. And he said, no, I'm not. And I said, yes, you are, because everybody dies. And he said, that's not true. And I said, yes, it is. You're gonna die, and your mom's gonna die, and your daddy's gonna die. In that order. Anyway, he was crying the rest of the time he was there. Just crying, just sitting there crying. I was playing, and he was just sitting there crying. And then his mom came to pick him up, and she said, what happened? And he said, he told me everybody dies. And she said, what? And I said, I told him. And she said, well, that's not true. I was like, what? She said, not everybody dies. And I didn't know how to argue at that age. I was like, what about like President Washington and Lincoln and the founding fathers? They're all dead. And she said, well, Lincoln got shot and Washington got sick, but some of them are still alive. And I was like, really? And she goes, we have to go. And then she left. Because I think she realized she was going down a road that was not going to get better. And after she left, my mom said, don't worry, that lady's a fucking idiot. Just don't worry about it. She said, don't worry, baby, you're definitely going to die. It's tricky having kids. You got to teach them a bunch of shit. Some of it they just find out on their own, And you're supposed to have a bunch of values to make your kid a good person, so I have to pretend that I believe in some shit. Like my youngest daughter is figuring out how to lie. She's learning how to lie. She doesn't always lie, she mostly tells the truth, but she's learning how to lie and she's pretty fucking good at it. I'll tell her, you did this thing, and she's like, I did not do that! And I'm like, holy shit, she's really good. And I know I'm supposed to, you shouldn't do, but I don't want to take that skill away from her. That's going to serve her well her whole life. How do you tell a kid, don't lie? How? Because otherwise, if you lie, you pretty much get whatever you want and you stay out of trouble. It's amazing. It's like magic. She's a good kid. She takes tap dancing lessons. Every week I have to take her to tap dancing. We started taking her to tap dancing because we figured by the time she gets older, it'll be the 1930s again and she'll have this skill that she can do for no one that wants to see it. Because you know how many people enjoy watching tap dancing? 0. It's fun as shit to do it. It's no fun to watch it. I take her every week to this tap dancing school. Here's the experience of tap dancing class. You take your kid to this place. She goes into a room that you'll never see the inside of. And you go, bye, baby. She goes, bye. And then you sit in a chair and hear through the wall as they go. And then she comes out, I don't want to go anymore. Good, don't. Quit. I don't want to come here either. I don't give a shit. I don't push my kids to do anything, because then you have to go too. You want your kid to be a soccer star? You gotta go fucking to some place. I'm not doing that. I don't know if I want to play soccer, Daddy. Yeah, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do any of this shit. You don't need it. Don't go to school. I don't want to get up at 7. Don't go to school. Just, what do you need math for? I have money, let's just eat at home. Let's just stay home and eat. It's just me and her just eating, no other activity, just opening cans, just eating, and then they find us like two bears in a convenience store that's been closed all summer. Tap dancing class is fun because you get to sit there with all the other parents. That's the best part. I'm being sarcastic. You sit there with all the other parents while they tap dance, and everybody just sits there like this. Total silence. 10 people all together combined by a cultural thing. Nobody, I have no idea who the fuck any of them are. Never said a word to them. Everybody just sits there. Total silence. There's drama. There's all kinds of drama going on. People are cheating on their spouses and shit. Ruining each other's lives. Just with their thummy. Just with their thumb. There. I'm embezzling with my thumb. I'm making plans to suck a dick with my thumb. And I'm not allowed to suck it either. With my thummy. Everybody's totally quiet, and I thought, this is kind of sad. We could be making connections here. So I put my phone away and I just made that available face, you know? And then the other parents kind of got this sense that somebody had awakened, you know? So everybody put their phones away and we all started looking at each other. And then the guy next to me started talking. He goes, this is a pretty good school. It's a good... I used to go to this other school with it, but this is a pretty good one. And then this woman spoke. Well, we came here from Connecticut. We used to go to school in Connecticut. And I didn't really like it, but she seems to like this one. But she's gluten-free, and they don't really have any gluten-free snacks. And I was like, can we all just please do this? Can we please all just keep the hideous inside? I liked driving here. This is a really nice area. That really tells you something. When you say, I didn't put nothing on that. I told you this is a nice area. And you laughed in my face. That tells you a little something. There's one kind of economic barometer, something that can tell you about how an area is doing. It's when you're driving and people just walk into traffic. When there's people that just... the light's totally red and they just walk out. And you slow the fuck down for that person. You do not. That is so. I do not have the temerity to do that in traffic. In New York, if somebody's just even if I'm at a red light, I still kind of do that little skippy, little handy, I don't want to upset anybody. I still want to be that dude that just fucking walks up to people's bumpers. Fucking beautiful. I had a weird dream last night. I dreamt that I was a little Japanese girl. I dreamt that I was a little 10-year-old. I don't know how old. Nobody told me how old I was. I was a little Japanese girl, and I was being chased by these Japanese dudes with swords, and they were cutting off people's heads, and they're going, ooh! And I was going, ooh! Because I don't speak Japanese. I don't really have... I can only dream in black and white and stereotypes. It's not my fault. I'm going, ooh! I'm scared. And the Japanese guys going, ooh! And they're killing people. And they all had donuts. They were all eating these big chocolate donuts. And they're going, ooh! And I'm going, ooh! And then I had this conflict because I wanted one of the donuts. I really wanted one of those donuts. But I didn't know how to ask for one without risking my life. Because the guy in me wanted the donuts, but the little Japanese girl I was in the dream was scared to ask for one. I guess it just kind of means be yourself. I think that's what the dream meant.
You gotta be yourself. Do you think people in the Bible knew they were gonna be in the Bible? Do you think they had a sense like, you guys, we are totally gonna get in the Bible. This is so gonna be in the Bible! I'm gonna get my hair done so I look nice for the Bible. It's like the yearbook. I've never been very religious. I got in a debate with somebody who was like doing that thing of like, oh yeah, if you don't think there's God, and I go, I don't know if there's a God. He goes, well, who the fuck? People always curse when they try to get you to be religious. Yeah. Who the fuck do you think made you? Where the fuck you fucking think you fucking came from? I don't know. I have no idea. Well, who do you think you talk to? This person says something kind of profound. He said, who do you think you talk to when you're thinking? Who do you think you're talking to when you're having your thoughts in your head? And I said, I know who it is. It's Hillary Duff. That's who I'm always talking to. Isn't that who everybody's talking to? Oh, Hillary, I feel so fat today. You're not fat. I mean, you are, but it's okay. I have no idea if she talks like that. I don't know. I never heard her speak. I don't know. I only know she exists because I Googled chicks in shorts and she came up. And I masturbated to it. Yes, I masturbated. I masturbated in Jamaica. Why am I standing like this? I was wondering the other day, what is my favorite part of my body? I think it's my mouth, because I like to put shit in there. And I like to talk. And then I thought maybe it's my eyes, because I like to look at things. And then I thought maybe it's my asshole. Well, my asshole is probably the most important, because if I didn't have my asshole, I would explode. Or I would just eat and then throw up shit. I guess that's the way it would work. That's the worst thing I ever said to anybody. If I didn't have an asshole, I would explode. I think in about 10 minutes. I think that's how long it would take. I would eat one cookie and then just... Also, my skeleton is very important. Without my skeleton, I would be a very different kind of a dude. Isn't that weird that we all have skeletons? I saw this beautiful woman, this blonde, gorgeous model, and I was like, she has a spooky skeleton inside. That's what we all inside. We're all this person. With the xylophone playing in the background. Having kids, you have to teach them a lot of stuff. Some of it is scary, you know? Some of it like sex. Sex is everywhere. I have 2 girls, and I take them out, and there's just sex. Outside of our apartment, there's this big billboard from American Apparel, and there's always an American Apparel girl up there with this confusing sexual look to her. This giant woman is looking down at my daughter's like...
Don't worry about that.
I have garbage in my pussy. I don't care. I put pennies in there. Those posters are sexually inappropriate. I really think that. I know they are because they give me a boner. That's how you know. That's the only way to know that something is sexually inappropriate is because you have a big leaky boner in your pants. Every time you see a priest or somebody like protesting, these images are overly sexual! That's why. He's got a great big boner. Some fathers get really scared about sex with their girls. What am I gonna do? My daughter's growing up, she's gonna start having sex. What do I do? You don't do anything. It's none of your fucking business. But what if she has bad sexual experiences? Oh, she's gonna have bad sexual experiences. Folks are gonna come all over her and she's gonna regret 90% of it. But then she's gonna meet a real man who's like 52 and she'll be fine.
What do I do? What do you think? You're supposed to be there? Careful! Sex is a weird thing in our culture because it's like our favorite thing. It's pretty much everybody's favorite thing. It's pretty impossible to beat sex as far as the level of joy and ecstasy and happiness, and yet we really rarely do it. Sex is a rare and private thing, but it's our favorite thing. Why aren't we? I mean, everybody's here with just dicks and pussies all mixed in, and nobody's just turning to each other and fucking the whole time. That's so, we're like covering them. Don't let anybody ever see your genitals. It's so important to never show anybody your genitals. I can't stress that enough. It's so, you can do everything right. If you don't cover your genitals, you're fucked. Your life is just shit. You can have a PhD, you just have to cover this. Like I could go out with just a piece, totally naked except for a piece of duct tape, just from here to here, and I could go to the White House and get a tour. So that's where they decided that. You could cure cancer and save 1 million kids from dying. If the next day you go to the mall and you just take your dick out for 10 seconds, you're go right to jail. And for the rest of your life, anywhere you move, you have to tell them that you did that once. It's pretty fucking brutal, man. All right, I won't drink it. I got really high the other night. All right. Well, the reason I got really high is because I don't do drugs. I never do drugs. Because then when I do, they're way better. If you really, really want to enjoy drugs, never do them. Just make them not a part of your life. Because then when you get high, you get really fucking high. I got very high and I started texting my friends. I'm like, I'm so fucking high. I want to fuck a dog because I'm high. I'm just being an idiot. I want to fuck 3 dogs. While the other 2 watch, I'll fuck one of them. And then take turns, because I'm so high. I just kept sending. And then all of a sudden I realized, I think I might have just sent all those texts to my 12-year-old daughter. And I didn't, but I easily could have. Too easily. I'm sure there's an app for this, but there needs to be a really robust app that you can't send texts to certain numbers in your phone without doing a whole fucking solving a puzzle and walking with a cup of acid on a tightrope, and 2 guys on each side of the room with keys have to turn the keys at the exact same moment. Are you sure you want to send this picture of your penis to your ex-wife's mother, who you haven't spoken to for 6 years? That's how you want to break the silence. Because your ex you need to have some communication with, but their parents, fuck them forever. You never talk to those motherfuckers again. 6 years of silence, and then she's like reading in her bed. Ooh, bling. This is a picture of my penis. How have you been? You guys are great. I hope you enjoyed the show.